Many of our people in the diaspora have been asking the question, who am I? You look at the suffering of your people and you look at the state of your people, and that you were snatched from an unknown land and brought to where you currently are today. Some of you are in the Western Hemisphere, in the Caribbean, in Brazil, South America. Some of you also are in the Eastern Hemisphere. You might be watching this video in Iraq or Iran, India. It's important for you to know and identify, who am I? Who are you? One way of being able to answer that question is through DNA. And what many of us researchers have done is we've been able to locate our people that have been scattered all over this earth. We are the children, the descendants of the biblical Israelites. We're one people. And there's a common genetic marker that we all share, and that genetic marker is known as a haplotype marker of E1B1A. This sole marker is a paternal marker that is shared by us all. It identifies us as one people with one common ancestor. That ancestor is Jacob. So whether you are a person from the land of India and you're called Siddhi, you are an Israelite. Whether you are a person in the Caribbean and they call you a Bahamian, you are an Israelite. If you are in the diaspora here in the United States, you're not black, you're not colored, you're not a minority. You are a descendant of Israel. When it comes to the question of, can we connect the African diasporan to the ancient Hebrew Israelites, one of the main questions people have is, can you do it? What ways can you prove that the African diaspora is associated or directly descended from the ancient Israelites? Paternal DNA deals with the lineage of the father. And the great thing about that is that it doesn't change. There's some minor mutations that take place over time, but in general, literally from father to son to son to son to son, that genetic marker is passed down from generation to generation, unchanged except for minor mutations that happen as new children are born. If you have a maternal lineage that's Igbo and a paternal lineage that is Bamon, Cameroon, in between you may have Ewe mixture in there. What does all that mean for us? What is the DNA marker of the transatlantic slave trade? What is the DNA marker of the African American, the one from the Caribbean or Brazil that comes from the transatlantic slave trade? The overwhelming genetic marker that we have is E1B1A, and that is for your paternal lineage. That is E1B1A. Now maternally, there's a variety of markers that are used, and we can associate that those are genetic markers of our female line, our ancestors, and that is L1, L2, L3. In some cases you will see L4, in some cases you will see L0, but predominantly you're going to see L1 through 3. Now, what does all that mean? It means that by looking at these markers, you can trace what your lineage is and who you associate directly to. So there's a history that we can look, we can research and dig in deep. Well, as we've learned, there's a situation that took place, a sad story, where you have the children of the Yahudim from Spain and Portugal that were kidnapped. They were kidnapped from Portugal and they were sent to West Africa. They were actually sent to Sao Tome. Well, let's ask the question, what is the genetic DNA marker of those descendants from those children that were transported and enslaved on Sao Tome and Principe? The answer to that is E1B1A. The paternal ancestry of those Sephardic children that are in the land of Saint Tome and Principe overwhelmingly is E1B1A. And there actually was a report that was published that showed that the Sephardic lineages of those children were E1B1A. And what makes it even more powerful is the fact that these children had the same name of those on historical record as the children that were sent to Saint Tome and Principe. And when they did the study, they looked into not only their paternal lineage, but the maternal lineage and admixture, the autosomal. What they found was overwhelmingly 95% sub-Saharan African DNA. They also found that the recent admixture of European descent was literally within 2 or 3 generations of today, which goes to show that of those sampled that have direct ties to those children enslaved, separated from their parents from Portugal, were sent to Saint Tome are our people. They're our ancestors. And they're also part of the reason why many of us did not know where we came from. We come from various places when you look and research our heritage and our DNA. Angola, Congo, Cameroon, Benin, Togo, Nigeria, Igbo, Yoruba, Ghana. These are our people. We're one people. We're the Israelite people.